We're going to have a quick look at something called changing the subject of a formula. Now this question is at the dizzy heights of number 23 on a higher paper and would be worth a total of 4 marks. So get prepared for quite a lot of difficulty. However, there's a couple of important links which should help you remind you of other things, and also there's quite a few key skills that you already know. So I'll write a couple of them here. We're going to expand, we're going to move some terms. It's not very precise, but it'll do. We'll move some terms and we're going to do some factorising as well. Now, there are some simpler ones on the interactive practice, and I would recommend that you go there first. That's on grade B sheet 1. Have a look there and practice those. These are much harder, and the reason is that they include the thing K twice. So it wants us to end up with K as the subject right down here at the bottom. So K equals something. So we want K on its own, basically. Now the problem with that is that when we start out, we've got K in 2 different places, and that indicates to us quite strongly, it's a little hint that we should factorise. So let's get going. You should know that there's questions on the exam quite often like 7 over 2.6 minus the square root of 5. And they don't put it on to see if you can read the numbers. They expect that you can. They put it on because if you enter it into your calculator, 7 divided 2.6, take away root 5, press equals, it will come out wrong. Your calculator does BIDMAS quite rigorously. Now it's clear here that we should do the 2.6 take away the root 5 first, but when we're putting in a calculator we have to put brackets around it. And when we're actually manipulating this thing up here, the t equals, we're going to have to do the same thing. So first step, we'll put brackets around the k minus 2. So let's write that because it's worth saying. Just to say that if we move that anywhere, it's got to go as one sort of complete unit. Now we look at that and think that looks awful. We've got a fraction. It's I'm a little bit scared. So what I'm going to do is multiply both sides by this k minus 2. If you don't have the brackets there, it might look like tk minus 2, when in fact it's actually, when we use one of our skills up here now of expanding brackets, we're going to get tk minus 2t equals k. So we've got maybe a mark or 2 at the moment because our algebra is correct. We're going to now move some terms, and we're going to move the terms to aim towards what the final outcome is going to be, which is k on its own. So we're going to try and get all the k terms on one side. So to do that, I'm going to put all my k terms on the left hand side. So I'm going to move that k over and make it a minus k. So this k here is going to go over to that side, and this minus 2t is going to go that way and become a plus 2t. We'll write that in blue so you can actually see it. 2t. Make ourselves some room. We're not far off there now. So if we shrink that down a little bit, we've got tk minus k equals 2t. As I said right at the beginning, it is question 23. It doesn't tell you to do it, but you've got to recognise that because k is there twice, we're going to have to factorise. So k out of t minus 1 equals 2t. Check that that works. K times t is tk, and k times minus 1 is minus k. And therefore the final step is to divide by our t minus 1 and just leave the k on its own. So the final step would be k equals 2t over t minus 1. Job done.